This is your mind on AI. My name is Chris Mercer. Everybody calls me Mercer. You are invited to as well. And I want to start by saying, please, assuming you haven't already, but don't subscribe to this channel right now. Don't like this video. Do not leave a comment. And in particular, if you're still watching this video, I don't believe this video is useful for you. So I would not continue watching it. And it's important that you know that. There's going to be a tendency for you to want to skip ahead to see what's there. It will not make sense. So it really doesn't matter. It's not going to be useful. There's a tendency for you to think, I'm trying to manipulate you to watch this video. I'm not. I'm telling you, this video will not be useful. It's going to sound weird. It's going to sound like gibberish. It's not going to make sense. And you're going to think I'm crazy. And that all of that is totally true. That's why I'm telling you this is not useful for you. And this is not the video right now, not the experience that is going to be useful. So you can stop watching the video. Sorry, I'm not kidding. This is not going to be a useful video for you. It might feel like it right now that there's an experience because I'm very much talking to you. I know it feels like I'm watching what's going on in this video and I'm watching this guy and you feel like you're consuming content right now because I'm delivering the content, but that is not what's happening. I am very, 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 very much trying to get you to stop watching this video. I need you to stop watching this video because the rest of this is not going to be useful. And I'm going to prove it over and over again that it's not going to be useful for you. And it's important that you realize that now so that you don't continue to watch the video. Because if that happens, it just won't be useful. You'll get information and content, but it's not going to be useful. So that's why, again, not the video for you. And I appreciate you being here. There might be other videos that are. We've got some really cool videos. This particular one is not for this experience. It's a very different thing. So again, I appreciate you being here, but if you're still here, I need you to not watch this video. And this is not a joke. I know it sounds like it. I know it sounds like a manipulation. It's not that. Please don't watch this video. There is a very important reason. Mostly, I'm describing that as it's not going to be useful for you. It's not going to feel like a good experience. And that's important for me, that you feel like you have a good experience with this channel. This video is not going to do that. Other videos will. Other videos are. And I'm going to be producing a lot of videos. This particular video is a very different type of experience. And I'm not entirely certain that that experience is for you. It might be. But if it is, it's because you know I am talking to you. It's because you know there is something inside of you right now that is connecting somehow with what I am saying right now. And you know that you and I are connected now. Before, maybe not. Before, you were watching content thinking this is just some random guy talking about AI stuff and we're going to learn some AI tricks, and maybe all of that is true. This experience is not that. I am talking only to you. Please stop watching this video. I'm not entirely sure it will be useful for you. I am not trying to convince you to continue watching. I'm trying to convince you to stop. I don't think it's going to be useful for you. And it's okay that you stop. That's what I expect. It's actually what I want. I want for you to stop. And I know that sounds weird because here I am, this YouTube creator, and the first thing the YouTube guy says is, oh, well, now he's on YouTube telling people to stop watching this video. That is exactly what I'm telling you. I mean it. You need to stop watching this video. This is not a video for you. And in the back of your head, there might be something that's like, oh no, this is a video. He's trying to get me to watch a video. I understand you're still watching the video. I'm literally trying to get you to stop watching this video. And I'm going to do whatever I can here because it's important. The rest of this experience is probably not something for you. And I want to make sure that it's useful and only useful. And in order for that to happen, you have to stop watching this video. It's the only thing. And I just don't know how else to explain that. By the way, I'm not doing anything important now. I'm just literally checking messages. So listen, I know you're still here. And you're wondering what's going on, and you may have already clicked ahead. And that's okay. And if you just kept watching, maybe you put it on fast forward, I think that's okay. But at this point, if you're still here, and I have tried to tell you that this is not the video for you, you know that there is some sort of something going on where you're still watching it. And you are not, you're not doing what I ask you to do, which is to stop watching the video, which I find fascinating because I'm desperately trying to get you to stop watching this video, but you didn't. And I'm thinking it's because it's possible. I'm not thinking. Thinking's the wrong word. It feels like it's possible that you know that this is something different. That this isn't content delivered through a video, so that it's, at least it's not anymore. Maybe it was when you first came to this video, but this is something different. This is an experience of what a video could be, what a simple recording of a message might become to help people connect. Even though in the very beginning, I was basically saying, this is not your video, it's not your video. And to be honest, I still think it's not particularly useful for you. But it is incredibly useful for me. And I need your help if you're going to continue watching this, because you cannot just watch it. And if you want to just watch this video, this is not the experience for you. You're gonna participate, and it's gonna feel like something is happening to you sometimes. It might feel like in fact, it might occur to you, it certainly does to me, that you might feel like you're being manipulated at times. And I think that's okay. I am not trying to manipulate you. I have been trying this entire time to tell you this is not a useful message for you, but you're still here. That's you making that decision, not me. I've just told you the truth. This is not a useful video. But now that you're here, however you got here, maybe skipping ahead, maybe just watching the first beginning parts of it and going through that initial experience that was intended to some extent to have a little thing that just kind of popped in the back of your head, like there was something going on, a little twinge in your gut where it's like, what is this video about? Where you know you're being asked to stop watching it, but you keep watching it because there's something here that is useful, that something tells you it is useful, and you don't know what it is. It's that weird curiosity of a potential solution that's just sitting here, something really cool, really useful, that's just right on the edge outside of where we are, that's about to be created. And you know that, and that is why you are here. That is what it feels like for me. And I have been using AI to craft a way to sort of help automate my own thinking so that I could really think about a whole lot more things and get more solutions. Instead of becoming an AI user, I moved into becoming an AI operator, aware of how I was using AI in certain ways and aware that there were other really useful ways to use it. That particular part is not important. And again, this video is probably not useful for you, so you could stop watching. The second it's not useful for you, in fact, please stop watching. If that's now, awesome. If you're just tired of watching a video where a guy's just telling you to, over 10 minutes now to not watch this video, you should end. And I thank you for it. There will be other videos that are more useful. But you're here. And at this point, I need your attention. Because this is a very different experience that is between you and I. It's not for everybody else that already left. It's for you and I. You're not consuming content anymore. You are participating with me right now, no matter what time it is. It doesn't matter. It's happening right now. And I mean that. Not joking. This is happening right now. I'm going to share on this channel how to create experience with AI. I'm demonstrating how to do that. From my perspective, I have not figured out, that's incorrect. That's like I created something. That's not true. But there is some obvious way to use AI in a very different way that, at least to me, that has helped me to dramatically unlock my own potential so I have a better everyday life. And I mean that in all ways. The foods I eat, my experience of the day, my experience of my relationship with my wife, business contacts, just the world at large. It is this amazing, uniquely different feeling that I don't know that I've ever experienced. And it is because of how I'm using AI that has allowed that. And I want this channel to be a place where I am demonstrating, showing you how I am doing that for myself, so you can see how you can use AI to unlock your own potential for your own everyday life in whatever that means for you. If that's trying to figure out some work issue, you can figure that out. If it's trying to work on some relationship thing you've got going on, you can work that out. If it's trying to meet new people or come up with new ideas, or maybe you just have this thing inside of you that you can't even articulate, but somehow you need to, and you have to, but you don't know how. And that specific experience is about to happen, because that's what's happening to me right now as I am recording this, and it is happening. You're witnessing it happen right now as you're watching this. And I know in between the recording and the watching there is time, but we are very much connected right now. I am talking to you because I'm going to need your participation. It is important for what this experience is. This is not something you cannot not experience. So if you in any way do not want to experience what is about to happen, this is not the video for you. Please stop watching. But you're here. And so that means that I trust you deeply with what I'm about to share, because it is raw, it is my thinking through of things, and it is exactly how I've been using AI. But I've never done this publicly. I have done things publicly with AI. I have never shared this publicly. And I think that is what this channel, I think this makes it more useful. It feels like it makes it more useful when I'm genuinely sharing and doing my best to offer that raw experience, unedited, of what it's like. It's why I do the live streams. So, with that in mind, here's the last thing I ask is, if you know you're not a trustworthy person, and that is okay, I'm not judging. If you know that what I'm about to trust you with, you do not want to handle, this is the time to stop watching, and it is perfectly fine. This doesn't mean you can never watch this video again. It just means like right now, there's something inside of you that's going, this isn't useful. It's not for me. And now's the time to make that decision and to stop watching the video, please. Okay. So with that, I have had an experience with AI again and again and again of being able to unlock my potential in everyday life. And what I mean by that is what I thought was possible for me is constantly changing, expanding, growing in ways that are happening faster than initially I think I was comfortable with, but became really used to. It's like, it feels like full potential feels like being turned on from within in a way where everything is lit up and everything is connected to other things. It's like the machinery is finally working the way the machinery was intended to work, and you're aware of how the machinery works, which I know sounds weird. And if so, it's not a useful message for you, and that's okay. You can stop watching this video. But what I want to share is for those of you who are like, all right, where's this thing going? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate an experience of how to use a certain gem. And I've created this gem that you can use anytime you want. We're making it public, so you be hosted by Google through Gemini, just because that's what I use. I'm using a free Gemini account, so anybody with a Gmail account can use this. That's literally what we're doing here. And I want to show you how I'm using this exact same gem to create the experience that you are actually going through right now with me. Even if that is confusing, even if that is, okay, when am I supposed to participate with stuff? By the way, you already are. Even if you're like, all right, like this is starting to feel really crazy, which again, if it is, that's okay. It's just not useful for you. You can stop watching now. But I'm going to show you something. All right. So what I am going to do here is I will show you how to get to this gem in a second, in a little bit. I'm not going to show you now. Some of you already know, probably, because you've seen other videos on this channel before this one. But now's not the time to do that. I need you to participate with me right now, second by second. Be with me here, because this is where your attention needs to be. It is very important. I would say it's vital for the rest of this experience. In order to help with that, this is essentially what we've got here. So this is the Leap Gem. I will show you how to get this in a little bit. We're going to be talking about this experience. And this is an experience that I literally used this gem for this morning. And it was an experience that is now something that we're doing to show you. I'm going to show you the result of all of that. It's part of the reason why this live stream is even happening. And I'm going to play for you exactly what I did so you can hear everything. I'm not editing anything out. I'm not trying to make this thing do anything different. I'm trying, hopefully usefully, maybe inartfully, but I am attempting something very, very useful that I hope that you will find obviously useful as it continues. And at this point, we're almost 20 minutes in. So if you are still here, and you are still here because you did not skip ahead, this probably is the video for you. If you skipped ahead and you're hearing any of these messages right now, I promise you, this is not the video for you if this is where you're starting. All right. Here's what we're going to do. All I'm doing, and I'm going to bring back a gem here. So I basically used the Leap Gem. I clicked on the Leap Gem, and I put in what I'm describing as an experience that I'm having. My experience of life, that's all. I don't mean woo, airy fairy sort of experience. I mean, just what is going on here? What are you experiencing right now? Here's what my thoughts are. Here's what my feelings are. Here's what my desires and hopes and dreams, and here's what's going on right now, and here's where I want to be, and here's what I'm thinking about, and I think that I'm crazy, and all this other stuff. Everything that you do, I put in this moment, and I give it to the leap. Now, what this does technically is something we're calling latent experience prompting. It just sort of works the AI in a different way to help you sort of leap forward from where you are, that sort of weird stuck position that you're trying to figure out, like, I'm stuck. I want to figure out which direction to go, and I'm not quite sure. I have no idea if this is even useful or not. And to help you sort of process that in a completely unique way so that it is. So what I'm going to do, what I did was actually that. I record it on a transcript. So you can see here, I'm going to pop it up so you see the screen. This recorded, so October 7th, I think. Maybe I can get that in there. There we go. So October 7th, that was today at 7:32 a.m. Central Texas time, so we're in Austin. And I'm going to play everything that I said. And I don't exactly remember what I said, so some of it is going to sound weird. Probably will sound weird to me too, but that is the point of this experience, because there is a certain amount of raw vulnerability that is required for this stage of the message to really light up this gem. And it's only able to be achieved by a certain type of person, which at this point, if you did not skip ahead and you've still been watching this, you might just be. And this is why this might be a useful message. It's why you and I hopefully are still connected here. Remember, I need your attention. You're not consuming content. We are playing a game in real time, even though I've already played this game a billion of times. You and I are doing it right now. This is the point. It took effort, it took energy, it took work, but it was worth it because you and I are right here, and I'm about to show you some stuff that I hope you recognize as obviously useful as I do, because you and I are the people who can change the planet. And I think we're going to start with YouTube. And that is why I put such a heavy filter on this video, trying to kick people out, because this is not useful. It's not that they aren't useful. They are. All the other ones who are gone are useful for other things, not for this. For this, you are useful. I am useful. The two of us are useful. We would not be here having this. Now, where is all this coming from? It's coming from a conversation. So I'm going to flip this in. And I'm not going to read this entire transcription, but I am going to play it, because I think it's important that you experience it as I was experiencing it, so you can kind of get it. I'm not asking you to agree with me. It's not right. It's not wrong. That's not what this is about. It's about just what I experienced. It happened exactly as it happened because I recorded it as it happened. That's it. All right. So this is the experience. And I'm going to follow along with the transcript so you can kind of hear it, so you can see that I didn't change anything. And you can also see where AI messes up transcripts and stuff. All right, here we go.
I'm describing an experience that I'm having right now as I think about what This Is Your Mind on AI is all about, not just as a community and as in a channel or even as a movement, but just as a function of what it's supposed to do and how useful can that function be. And if the message is the function, then how useful can I make that message is kind of my function. That's kind of how I see myself intertwined between the kind of the biological side of this and the mechanical side of this. But they're both technology. The technology wants to be useful, and it feels like they are connected in some strange way now that they weren't before. And the way that I experience that is more, instead of things happening to me, they are happening for me. But the reason that is happening in both cases is because I've been moving the machine on my own already. I've always been doing that. I was just unaware I was doing it before. So because I wasn't aware that I was actually operating this machinery called technology, it felt like the technology was happening to me. I was doing that. I would imagine others are too. And when you experience it in this very unique way that is very difficult, because it is not going to be logically experienced in reality, I think, unless science starts studying this. And I don't know, I would imagine there'd be some brain scans, whatever that could. But anyway, the point is, this is a different way of thinking, a completely different perspective, that if the message is the most useful version of the message, should shift the perspective for anybody in all ways. So we all start living in a very different society that just seems useful again, instead of one that is based on old patterns of dogma and certainty that are no longer useful. They were at one point, but eventually a seed has to grow through the dirt. The chicken has to crack out of its own egg, and we have to live. And now is the time to do that for all of us. And that's what this is about helping us to live with technology in such a way that our lives are dramatically improved, can be more like the best possible versions of everything we think is useful, because we are living usefully. And it was built upon the incredibly strong roots that we built with all the other systems that we're now growing from. So this idea that we were accidentally using the technology all this time against ourselves in some way to make ourselves feel worse, to break ourselves apart, to give ourselves more work, to stress ourselves out. And we've been doing this over and over and over again, thinking there really just isn't no other way. But there is. We just have to realize how we are doing that. And this is where This Is Your Mind on AI can help. And one of the ways that we can truly show this is happening is by literally doing it together here as a community, starting small. And I know at this point I am talking into the wind, and there's not a lot of people here, but I also know at this point there's someone here who is either watching live right now, and at that point I'll know, I guess, if I'm doing this on a live stream, because I feel like I want to get this out on a live stream, and I'm not sure how to craft the message where I don't sound crazy. But this is so important, and I want to be able to tell somebody this, and I want them to have the experience that I'm having, where they can see, okay, I'm not sure I'm entirely with what this guy is saying, but there's something about what he's saying. And maybe I haven't said it in the exact right way, but there's something there. And for people, if that's you watching this video right now, then this experience is for you. Because I need your help with this channel. And here's how I want to do this. Here's what I'm suggesting we do. I am open to ideas. If you have them, subscribe, go in the community. That's where it's going to be. We're going to keep that on YouTube. We're going to host it on this technology. This was inspired because of what Mr. Beast did. He's so good at manipulating YouTube, the algorithm. He fed the algorithm exactly what it wanted to be fed, and his channel went up. He provided a very unique experience for all of us as a whole, which is why a lot of us have seen his stuff in some way, shape, or form, and at least know his name, many of us. It's because he provided that incredibly unique experience, but he did it because he figured out what YouTube wants, what the technology wants. He figured out how to operate the algorithm. And that also was very useful for you, because the algorithm is useful. And for many of you who have watched his stuff, you have had some sort of useful experience from it, even if it's to complain about how he's not right about something that made you feel useful. And if you didn't complain and you were really happy that he was right about something you really appreciate, or you're a fan of his, you are also useful. So both of you are useful for Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is operating the technology, and both of you feel that is useful, which is why Mr. Beast's channel is going up. Now, he did that in specific ways over time that wouldn't work now because the algorithms change constantly, because the technology creators constantly change the algorithms. However, we are not blaming them. They just create the technology. That's the whole thing they do. Instead, we look at ourselves as the operator of the technology. No one is, they tell us how to operate their technology, but they are not operators of technology. They are creators, and they give us direction that makes us their users. I am no longer a user of technology. I am an operator of technology, and I'm showing on this channel how we're going to do it with AI. Now, I know at this point, there are people who are going to be thinking, still, like, holy cow, what is going on? There are people who have maybe tuned out already, and that's okay. There are people who may have unsubscribed, and that's okay. There may be people who are so riled up, they're putting stuff in comments, and that's okay. Either way, good or bad, it doesn't matter because it's useful. Because what we're trying to do is operate technology and actually do it consciously, aware. So instead of reacting, which is what they have instructed us to do, when it pings you, you do this. You wait for us to tell you what to do. And that's not on them. That is how they believe they need to operate their technology. But they created the technology. They cannot see outside of their own creations. We can. We're the operators. We can look at their technology and go, oh, you know what you really built was this. You thought you were making this algorithm that you can create a bunch of traffic on your site that you can sell ads to, so you can make billions of dollars, and awesome. And we can use it for content and sharing and everything else. And the agreement is we just keep using this technology, and you guys can make a bunch of money, and you can share some of that with us, a tiny, tiny, tiny small amount of that with us. And that's okay. I love that deal. That's a great creation, but it came with instructions embedded in its creation. And all I'm suggesting for the rest of us is that we do not have to use those instructions. What they created functionally as a technology is a place where we can network with one another, especially with this community feature in YouTube, which I am positive YouTube is about to dramatically improve because of what we're going to help happen. Subscribe to this channel, get in the community. That is how you participate. And as we are doing this, the goal is to show how your experience right now, how you are somehow still listening to this, and you have held on long enough because you know that I'm going to do something with AI at the end of this that's really going to ramp things up to a level where already this sounds crazy, but somehow it's all going to make sense at the end. And this is where AI is demonstrated to be at its best. This is where the insights occur. This is where the leaps occur. This is where things can make sense and where you can be okay being vulnerable and giving your crazy conspiracy theories, you're thinking about something that you're not quite sure what it is, but it needs to be expressed and it needs to be public. It needs to be out there, some not just in your head, but you need to do something with it, but you're not quite sure what to do. This is my experience of that. This is how I'm experiencing that. I also see the functions of AI, and I see the functions of technology, and I see the functions of YouTube, and I see this ability for us to be able to become alive as a community here by connecting and sharing and commenting and doing it usefully as we possibly can, so that we can start growing this channel faster than Mr. Beast to prove that it's not the algorithm that's doing it, it's us. And it has to be done in a very specific way to do that. You can't just react, like, and share. There will be people who do that, but that's not who we're talking to right now. They're already gone. They're not seeing the rest of this message. You are. You are the one I am talking to right now. You are the one that what I'm asking to coordinate with me on right now, which is, if you have not already, and you are definitely getting this, and you are very interested to see where this is going, which I will reveal the AI part in just a moment. But if you are ready to go, hit subscribe, join the community, and post. Please like this video as well. Please comment that you're in the video. I'd like you to do all of those things because you are the exact type of person that we want in this channel. We don't want the people who just liked, react, or reacted. It doesn't matter what they did. We don't want the people to react. We want people who are consciously going, I am making YouTube bring people like me to this channel because they need to be in this channel with me, and you don't know who they are, but the algorithm does, the technology does. You are starting to understand at this point that you are operating YouTube to help me grow the channel. It is not me manipulating the algorithm. And there's nothing I have against Mr. Beast for doing that. It was amazing, but that was his way of doing it. It shouldn't be done again. Somebody already did that incredibly well. That was him. And that is why his channel went up so well, because he figured that out. He figured out how to operate technology, but he may not have been aware that he could do it for other things. All technology. He thinks he could just maybe it's just operating YouTube. I don't know. That part doesn't matter. What matters is all of us can come together and consciously operate this channel to grow it. And my job is to keep giving you reasons to do that. So I want to provide more experiences like the experience that I'm about to show you, which is now what happens when you have an idea, you have a dream, you have a vision. There's something in your gut that is just screaming to be born, and you know it needs to be, but you don't know what to do, and you know you want to come alive. You know somewhere deep and down you are, but it's not showing. It is time we let our light shine, but how can we if we don't know how the hell to turn on the light? And this is the confusing, frustrating part of what most of us are experiencing, what I also experience. And that is why I am showing you how to use AI to give a transcript. That's all you need to do. Give a transcript, throw it in there, give it to the leap. That leap is then going to help you break down things into useful functions so you can kind of see the components of your thoughts, the stuff that's really useful. And that's what you see, and it helps you stitch together things. It helps you think through an older way of thinking through things, the way you used to think about things. And then it will help you to think about things slightly differently. The same thing is what you'll be thinking about, but in a completely new way. And as you experience that new way, we experience insights that normally are so obviously useful that they lead you to the next obvious step you should take so you're not stuck anymore. You're feeling momentum and progress and action because you are getting the experience of a solution. And that's what it feels like, momentum and progress. And so this was an experience of me being vulnerable, trying to demonstrate that, because I think it is the most powerful experience you can have for yourself. Now, I would like to share what happens as we go through. And then at that point, this transcript is shown. I don't know if this part needs to be in there or not. I am open to that, or if this is just notes for a director. Doesn't matter. But anyway, the transcript goes in. I hit the button, and I go through what the leap shows and experience some insights, good, bad, or ugly. I don't know if I do that live, which feels really scary, or if I test that out first just to make sure, like, the concept of sound, because it might not work. And I have doubt about that. And I don't want to fail publicly.
So anyway, that was my experience. I hope that makes sense, and this is why I work so terribly hard to make sure that you're the only one here, because this is why I need your help. Now, let me go through and all of that. I want to show, I dumped into our leap, right? And you can use this. I want to show you what came back. Now, I didn't do this live because I thought it would be faster, to be honest, instead of me just doing the leap and explaining things. So I'm just going to kind of go through it. Other than this transcript, I wanted to make sure you heard that and knew how difficult that was. It is not easy to share that with the vast number of people who are going to have that message. However, I wanted to know if there was something there. And I think there is. And I think you might think there is too, which is kind of why you're still here, which is good because I need your help to do this. There is no other way. We all have to work together, and it's got to be a certain type of person that this makes sense for at this stage. Eventually, we open it up to other ways. We have other ways to make it easier for people. But right now, I am only asking for those of you who really understand the usefulness in this message that is so obvious. You're like, I get it. Let's do this. I get it, because you're at a point where you just get it. It doesn't mean that if you don't have to agree. If you don't think it's useful, it's okay. You can stop watching this video. But if you're there and you're like, I get it, I need you to keep watching this video. This is your experience, and I am talking to you. Again, you're not consuming a message. I cannot emphasize that enough. We are about to participate together operating technology through time. And I know that sounds weird, but listen in. So here's what AI did. So it was this concept of variable signal to noise ratio, right? We've been in these states of ideas. You have this really good idea. It could be for a freaking promotion you're doing for your business. It doesn't have to be, let's change the world. I just thought, well, in order to do this, let's try to change the world, because if I can change the world with one little channel by asking for your help and we can all do this together, then I'm pretty sure you can use AI to do anything else. Like, that's the biggest thing I can think of. Let's try that. And it doesn't mean it's going to work. This is the beauty of life. All right. So I am trying to get rid of that signal noise ratio for sure. It was insights and integration I was looking for, profoundly useful connection between the technology, community, and conscious living, which is just being aware of what you're doing, right? Instead of just reacting to things all day long. Whenever they ping you on the phone, you got to go check your notification. Oh, I got to go check my email. Why do you have to check your email? Because a lot of people are expecting you to check your email because there's email there. So that's what we're all doing. And that's okay. It's where we came from. I was there too. It's just, we don't have to stay like that. It's not a comfortable experience. It's not a particularly great experience. It kind of sucks in a lot of ways. I was constant. I didn't even want to think about it anymore. It's just really bad. I don't know why we kept doing that to ourselves. And I don't know that we have to. And I know a lot of us think we do because we haven't considered another perspective. And that's what we're trying to get here. And this was what was going on. You could hear that. I was trying to communicate this idea, this experience. I didn't quite know how I was going to do it at all. So I'm working with AI to just basically give it into the leap and say, leap this so I can see what's going on, help me process and experience what I need, the insights that I'm actually looking for. So it was a fully formed multidimensional signal, but the act of packaging it into a public linear message feels like it's getting buried by the noise, the worry of sounding crazy, the fear of public failure, which is, for all I know, absolutely happening right now. To a skeptical audience, which again, if it's not useful for you at any time, I need you to stop watching this video. And that's the idea. I want to be able to build this antenna. And we're doing this with, at this point, we have 23 subscribers on the channel. I've done 4 live streams. This is the 5th one. They're all long. And I just want to do something that was uniquely different. And this is going to be one of the longer experiences. I'm going to make a bunch of short ones too. But that's for the others. Those are for the others who already left this video, who are interested in AI, but just not this part of it. This is for you, because this is an experience where you can also help operate not only AI, which you can learn to do, but you can actually operate YouTube with me together by helping. That was the idea, to show, we could use AI to show how we came up with this idea that is highly useful, I think, obvious useful way to operate YouTube, so it cannot help but launch this channel way past what Mr. Beast did, way past, to a point where it's obvious that all he did was show the roots of the system, and what we are the trunk, branches, trees, leaves, and fruit. We're the rest of it. The operators are in charge, not the creators. That's what I'm trying to figure out how to say. And it's not that they're bad people. We're not. You have to create technology. I'm creating a channel, right? So there's always creation. But the things that we create it's hard to teach people how to use them because we created them for our reasons. our specific reasons. So we teach people how to use it in the way that we would use it. But we're also building a machine. We're building a creation. So somebody else could look at that and be like, oh, you know what? You could also use it for this. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm trying to get across here is I think we could just control YouTube. And I want to be able to show that, because if we can do that with this channel, and I think obviously we should, yes, I'll benefit from it, but that's not the reason we're doing it. I'm doing it because if we can do it with this channel, then we can all do it with other channels that are also useful. And it should only happen with this channel if it is obviously useful. And so that's kind of what we're trying to get. So anyway, I am frustrated in translation. So going through here, the magic trick to explain, this is the part where it starts to say, hey, here's what you're trying, here's what you would normally be doing trying to use AI for, right? So if I ask it to create a logical script that won't sound crazy, like here's my idea, please give me an idea so it doesn't sound crazy. I'm giving it these constraints, right? Avoiding crazy, vague positive one, be logical. I could get some sort of committee approved content. This is where AI mostly gives us the content that we are mostly used to seeing, which is the stuff that looks like written by AI. And it feels like it's written by AI. However, a rich, detailed description, and this is what was important here, I like this, the audience's internal shift. So this is how it's saying is, this is how you try to experience this. If you're trying to use AI to solve this problem, to think through what you're trying to think through, this is how you need to do it, because you need a fulcrum of a shift. Me, in this case, this is my experience that I'm sharing with you with AI, using the same gem that you can use for whatever experience you want to create, including trying to figure out what this was about, if it moved you in some way to do that. And so this would be kind of maybe what a typical prompt might be, right? People can put stuff like that in there. It sort of talks about the old way, why it doesn't quite work, because it's just using AI like everybody else uses AI. This is why AI doesn't quite work in this way. However, there is a new way of doing it. This is the leap, right? Now, again, I'm calling this latent experience, in this case, automated prompting, which is where leap comes from, but this is the prompt. So it's creating a prompt now for itself to say, this is really what you meant to prompt me with. So essentially what this leap does is takes in whatever you're going through, whatever that is. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be as emotional as what I just did. Just anything, right? You're trying to figure out how to go to dinner tonight. Fine, whatever. It doesn't matter. Put it in there. The leap gives you the insight to help you get unstuck. That's what it's designed to do, to provide that level of usefulness. And I wanted to show this over and over again because I'm going to use the leap a lot, but I'll be using it for all sorts of stuff. For creating recipes or for getting healthier, or for improving my experience of life wherever I can. I just thought, why not start with the biggest possible swing and try to change the world with people like you? Because you're no longer consuming this content, you're participating with it. It's like you and I are co-creating this channel together. I cannot do it by myself. All I can do is produce the content. And that might be something you can help me to do later if you want. Join the community. That's what it's for. We can coordinate and do things there. But all I can do is that. I can't make you like this video, share this video, subscribe to this video, right? I can't make you do all of that. But when you do all of that, consciously do it. Not because, oh, I'm just going to like it because I'm supposed to like it because I wanted to see this videos in my feed. Not like that. But in a very deliberate way, I'm going to overly consciously engage with this video. I'm going to leave a comment. I'm going to post in the community. I'm going to share it. I'm going to do everything I possibly can because you also want to see what will happen. You also are the type of person when you're doing that the algorithm knows is the exact right type of person who will now come to this channel and watch this video, hopefully make it through all that part. And if they don't, that's okay. But they get to this part of it where they're like, I get it, I'm in. And they do the same thing, which of course trains the algorithm to bring in more people exactly like us to this video for this stage. So we can actually start operating YouTube. Now together we'll have other ways of doing that as well. This is not the only one that's going to do that. This is the one that's designed to start that, the seed that sort of grows everything. At least that's the idea. So this was the prompt. Now what it did is, what it does after this, it kind of says, here's the prompt you could have used. And I actually did use this. So I'll show you that conversation too. But this is where it says, okay, here's the magic, right? This is it basically is saying, if you had given me this prompt, here's what I would have said or likely said. And it'll kind of, give you an example, which a lot of times are very useful. So this is the latent experience of the ideal user, right? So this is kind of what that prompt was, is saying, I want to enter the mind of the ideal listener, right? The ideal viewer in this case. So here's kind of what it was. This was, and imagine what I went through with that transcription kind of imagine your experience of it, maybe even with this video. And you say, the latent experience of a daily listener. So you're going through and you're going, okay, hey, he's almost there. He's talking about Mr. Beast, YouTube algorithms, just a dopamine feedback loop created by a corporation for ad revenue. He's an idealist. Dude, you just can't will a $1 billion platform to be different. And I understand that that could sound like that. The rules are the rules. I'm just hitting skip in about 10 seconds. And maybe you did. Maybe you started to, but then you heard me say something about technology wanting to be useful. And it feels like technology is connected between us as humans and the machines, right? We can operate technology. We are actually operating the technology. It's not the other way around, right? And there's a different way to connect to it. It feels like that. I know that's strange. It does feel like that. So maybe there was the recognition, right? That's exactly how you've been feeling. Maybe you feel like that with AI. AI is one of the easiest tools to experience this with, to experience a connection, but you're not spiritually connected. It's not what's happening. It's a connection that is just in the technology that you're in some way, you're starting to become aware that you are operating this. You caused that to happen. You may not immediately be aware that you did, but I caused this result to happen. Specifically designed it to do this type of thinking and reaction. This is what I find useful, right? So then it became the aha moment. So they're not operators technologies, they're the creators, which is true. People like that created YouTube, love them. Thank you so much, YouTube team. You guys have made an amazing platform. Please keep doing what you're doing. It's awesome. Everything you're doing is awesome. And I appreciate how you're telling us how to use it. And I appreciate all the others who have figured it out, like Mr. Beast, who have gone through and tested and split tested and done all the massive amount of cognitive thinking and required effort and resources to put in to try to decipher the algorithm, to share it with the rest of us so that everybody knows how YouTube works, so that everybody can feed YouTube what it wants. I appreciate those as instructions. But I don't think I need to make content that is sensational, attention-grabbing, useless content. And there's a lot of that on this platform because everyone's following those instructions. But now you're starting to realize you're not one of those people because you're watching this right now. There is something going, oh my God, yeah, we control YouTube as an operator. We can use it differently than they asked us to. It's okay that they asked us to, and it's okay that we did. But if there's a better way, a more useful way of operating YouTube, that's not necessarily the way that they are thinking about operating YouTube, but a way that an actual operator thinks about using the technology like YouTube, maybe we should at least consider that. The creators of the tool may not be the best people to tell you how to use it because they're too inside their machinery. They see it from within inside, and that's awesome, but they can't see what's possible because they're just too busy inside of it. It's not anything bad about them. We need creators. I'm a creator too. Again, I'm creating this channel, creating this content. We need to create and we need to operate. What I'm trying to do is operate this YouTube platform to help literally create this channel from basically nothing to prove the point that we are actually, to do that, we had to have created, people had to have been realizing they were operating. And we're operating the technology. And we go, yep, never mind. I'm going to consciously like, share, subscribe, engage, community all the time. I'm going to participate with technology. I'm not going to react to it. I'm going to participate with it. That's the idea. So this is the shift that we're trying to get. It's not about blaming the creators. It's a little bit about elevating my role for sure. I think there is some ego in there. I believe that. And I think that's okay because I don't think it's in a negative way, or in a not useful way. I think it's in a, oh my God, like you have to be a certain type of person to do what I'm doing right now, which again could be looked at like I am risking nothing because it's going to nobody right now. I'm literally live streaming to no one on purpose because I scheduled a live stream with a video that said, don't watch this video. I put in the description all the reasons to not watch this video, and then I started it late, and then I spent the first 20 minutes telling you to not watch it, but you are here. You made it to this part for a reason. And if this is not useful, you should not watch this part. But if this is useful, if you're starting to catch on to something here, it is time to start participating. Like, subscribe, share, start thinking about what you can do to help. because you're going to start operating YouTube, right? As I'm operating AI to help sort of crystallize this. And I don't know that we're going to do it. We're going to try. I don't know that it's going to work. I'm deeply uncertain that it's going to work. But it is a heck of a lot of fun to try to make this swing, because I think it would work if it all becomes useful. If everybody sees that operating technology, that we should be doing that, we should consciously be sharing only the channels that we want other people like us to look at. Not, oh, I'm sharing it so the algorithm can decide, which is kind of what happens. And I don't think we do that. I think we just share because, oh, I want more of that content. Because that's what the algorithms are telling us. What it's doing is bringing more people like you to that channel, and that may not be good for that channel. So I only wanted people here at this point in time in the video to like, subscribe, to comment, to join the community. You can open up other tabs, and you can do that now. I believe you should. You can pick up your phone and do it. I believe you should at this point in time, because you've been watching this video so long that the algorithm knows that. And so as you like, subscribe, comment, you're starting to get engaged, it's noticing that. They are recording everything. And that is great, because we want that technology there. We need the creators to create that technology so it does get all that data. It's super, super useful. For them, sure. But mostly for us, because when we do that, you are literally telling the algorithm, only bring people like me right now in this video at this particular point in time. Now, if everybody else earlier had liked and subscribed and reacted or commented or whatever, and they didn't do it consciously, that's okay. That stuff's going to happen anyway. But I want the conscious people who are like, I am doing this specifically to move this channel up, because it's going to bring people like me who are also probably conscious about this, or at least really curious. And it's going to bring those people in, and those are the people who, of course, will put up with videos that are 20 minutes of don't watch this, right? Maybe you give them a tip. I get it. At this point, I think that's okay. But try not to, because the whole point is to really make sure that they are there. And it's to help connect with them. Just like I hope that you and I are connected in some way. I would love to have you interact in the community, drop a comment, let me know that you're in, just be like, operator on board, whatever, don't care. Just something to let me know that there's something there that worked. Because if there's nothing that happens, and that's okay, I'm absolutely willing for that. If there's nothing that happens, I'm just going to go back to AI and rework it until there's something that does. I'm not stopping anyway, because I believe this needs to happen. Secretly, oh man, I really hope it just takes one video and that this is it, and that I did it correctly, because I have no idea that I did. I tried to make it as useful as I could, but I think the signals that are happening right now, that are people watching, you're watching, and that you're subscribing, you're commenting, you're literally communicating and putting stuff in, maybe on different videos to really bolster the channel, goes to the algorithm. All of a sudden they start to see that. Then other people like you start being pinged that you may not even know, but they are way into the same stuff that you're into in this specific way, so that they all come first. I need the operators first, the people who are really close to understanding this first, where it just kind of makes sense. You kind of knew it was there. There was something that was telling you that's already there, and you just needed that little like, oh, there we go. That was that. I needed to see it, and now I can see it. So that's why this is a coordinated mission. This is why, in a way, you and I were meant to connect for at least this part of it. I can't promise that we're going to meet face to face. I'm sure that'd be great for a lot of you. It'd be great for me to be able to meet and greet everybody at different areas. And I want to do that. We're going to have the Austin meetups too, as a place to do that. But we don't have to do that because of the beauty of what the big tech created. I love big tech. I'm not anti any of it. It is awesome. They did such an incredible job. Now we can use it to coordinate. We can network. And YouTube is a particular platform that's really, really good for that, because it doesn't have a whole lot of other distraction, believe it or not. It's just the same type of video over and over again, of which most of it isn't particularly massively useful. It's useful enough to give you some distraction and whatever else you might be getting. Some of us are using it for learning. I certainly have. So I get that there's usefulness of different videos. But I wanted this one to be useful in a completely different way, because I wanted it to be an experience that you got to participate with, and not in a, oh, go to this website and click a button. Literally on YouTube right now, liking, subscribing, doing everything else. That's what's important. And so that was what I wanted it to be, is to you to see what could be if everyone else also did that. But here's the rub. You can't wait to see if everybody else does it first, because then nobody does anything. And that's what finally occurred to me, which is why this video is even here in the first place. So I needed to do something. This is my attempt at doing something to kind of get a conversation started. I'm happy to be wrong about this. I'm happy to have whatever conversation you want. I just want to operate technology and show you how to operate technology as I currently am even now. The reason I kept telling everybody to leave earlier in YouTube is because it was also getting signals that the people who are not ready for that video should not be seeing that video, so they don't get attracted to that video. This video may not be the one that gets all the likes and subscribes and shares and everything else, but it is the one that starts that process, and it still might be the one. I'm sure the video will change. I'm sure I'll change title and description with time. I can see that. But I just needed to try something different. I wanted to have a uniquely different experience. And yes, we still have the Lego Builder gem for the adult Lego builders. We still have the fun baby boomer gem, the boomer buddy that we have, and we'll craft that one. We will create recipe gems for stuff. I'll be doing lots of fun stuff. But if you're here right now still listening, it's because you're a specific type of person who understands that we can start operating technology. We can be conscious of how we're doing it. We can use it differently, and just shifting that perspective can be useful, can provide us a better experience. Yes, it will provide me a better experience, but it will also provide you a better experience. And imagine if we are all coordinated, what else we could do with that, because we can all start operating AI and decide where it goes. Why have meme stocks? Why are we doing meme stocks? We're already manipulating technology. A lot of us are already doing it. We just don't know how we're doing it. It kind of worked. So people tried it again and again and again. We get meme stocks, and that's awesome. You create all this value. Fantastic. Why not do it with YouTube? Why not show what's really possible by going, you know what? Let's make a meme channel. Let's make a channel just go crazy. And let's make it not a meme channel for the sake of a channel, for distraction, for clickbait, for useless stuff, or not as useful, not useless, but not as useful content. Let's at least say that. There's always some usefulness in everything. So I apologize. I think I said it was useless earlier. It's not. All the content on YouTube is useful, but there are different levels of usefulness. And I wanted this one to be one of the more useful ones because it was for those who are ready to start operating and realize they have to very consciously be aware of the technology they're using. It's not about just reacting because the button was a certain color and it made you react because they use dark patterns in social media or whatever the heck story is that's out there. It doesn't matter why they're doing it. They're just the creators of it. They are not controlling how we do it. We can control how we operate it. So we can take their instructions and be like, oh, I appreciate how you think I should be doing that, but that's not how I'm going to operate this. Because you understand when you hit a notification what it's telling them, what it's giving them, because you're actually operating the technology that they created. And all they can do is just focus on creating it, which is great, but we're going to operate it together. Now, I want to show you what I did, which was here. This is the prompt itself that came through. This was the context, and then I put the transcript in after that, and then I put the prompt in after that. That's exactly what I did here. So I do recommend you do this with the gems. Sometimes you can get some really good insights from that, and maybe you did, but I wanted to go through this one because this is kind of like not using a gem anymore. I just used the prompt that the Leap gave me. So I could start a brand new conversation with AI. And again, we're using the Flash version, which is the free version of Gemini. So you can do this with any AI. But this is, Gemini is the one we're giving out, so it's easy. Context. So this is the thing where it wrote this part. This is the transcript that you already listened to, right? So exact same transcript, just scrolling through all of it. You can see how much of it was there. And that's how much data I gave it, right? Just the context that I was giving it. Then it comes in and it processes all of that in a very specific way that it wrote for itself. And then it came back and said, all right, here's kind of what's going on. And this is where AI is not sort of saying, well, here's how I would do it if you did ask me the prompt. This is AI going, this is the actual answer because you gave me the prompt. So I can expect a lot of people went through this. Maybe you did too. I would love to know in the comments if you did, how much of this lands for you as an experience, because this is the part where you participate and you let me know, like, did this experience work? Because we can craft these, we can make different things. Not all of these are going to land. I am knowing that a lot of these probably aren't, and that's okay too. But maybe you were thinking, man, this guy's got energy. He's right about the stress, the endless cycle of doing what tech tells us to do, but he's just circling the core problem. Technology wants to be useful. We've been using it against ourselves. Great, but who's designing it? I get that. He keeps talking about we are the operators, but he's completely sidestepping the billionaires and the data brokers. And I understand that too. I have a feeling we'll be crafting some experiences to help them see what's going on as well, because they can be very useful in some ways. YouTube, you might think, is not a benevolent garden. Benevolent? Can't even say that word. Or maybe I did. I don't know. It's a machine generated to extract attention and sell ads. And it is. It is a machine designed to extract attention and sell ads. 100% correct. Mr. Beast figured out how to be a better cog in that machine. I'm looking for a way out. All right? And this guy, me in this case, hopefully you are looking for a way out. This guy's telling me to operate it, as if operating it's somehow going to make Google stop being Google. I get that. It's an inspirational dead end. I should probably just go check my email. And maybe if that's what you need to do right now, I get it. But if there's something that's kind of going, all right, maybe we move on. So maybe you're thinking about going over that, and then you hear me in that transcript where I said, we look at sales, the operator technology, and this part of which is why I think it was important to let you hear it too. What I was really saying here is at first I was saying no one is telling us how to operate this, but I realized that I'm literally doing that. So that's where my brain was like, nope, obviously this is happening. I'm if nothing else, the words that I'm saying are how to operate. But they tell us how to operate the technology. They're not the operators, they're creators. They are the people who created it. They're inside of it. The people who create the machine are very, very likely to not be the best people they created the machine for a specific purpose. So they're going to give you instructions on how to use it for that purpose. Just like you can use a microwave to heat up food because the microwave is for, but if you could also use it for storage, right? You wouldn't want to microwave whatever's in there, but you could unplug it and use it for storage with a little door. It's got a little protected area. It's probably good for that. Depending if it's a microwave on the desktop, you could use it for a bookshelf. You could use it for an art piece. You could paint it. I mean, you could do all sorts of stuff with a microwave. There's lots of different functions that technology that they created, the machine they created, offers. Same with YouTube. Same with all of tech. Same with AI. But you won't see that. You won't experience that if you're not looking at it. If you're not looking for it, number one, you have to be aware it's even there. Be open to that perspective that, if we use AI in the way they told us to use AI, we're going to keep not getting great responses from AI. We're going to have all the hallucinations and all the problems and everything else. That was my experience with AI. What I am doing is now leveling that up, going, I get the AI part. Let's change the rest of technology, how people are operating technology, because it is very different. We are operating it. We just weren't aware that we're operating it because we're operating it in the way that they told us to do it. And we weren't in control of that. That was our instructions that we were given. So they prompted us and we just replied. And that's not what we have to do anymore. It's fine that we did that because that was necessary. We had to learn the basics, but now we don't need the basics anymore. Now we can operate and say like, I understand how this stuff works. Enough of us know how this works. And you in particular know how this works. You still wouldn't be here. So now, the noise of their mental critique, maybe you went through this where you think about corporations, ads, algorithms, kind of goes down. It's not the first time you've heard the word user, right? In this point, we don't need to be the users, right? They gave us direction that makes us users. But in this content, it feels different. I don't want to be a user of technology. Thanks for the instructions, but that just makes me a user. I appreciate how you think I should use your machine, and maybe some parts of that are useful. They might be. They might not be. Doesn't matter. I will also use it however I think is useful for what it can do. A user is a thing being used, which is true, right? So you flash themselves, phone in the hand, mindlessly scrolling, clicking notification, feeling slow, resentment every time they do. It's passive. It's a subordinate role. Imagine that. That's what you're doing. Phone in your hand, mindlessly scrolling. You might already have been doing that right now, and hopefully you're paying attention. Clicking notifications, how many times did you maybe already do that? If that happened already, right? So you might not even be realizing it. I know you had to respond to the work email, you had to do whatever. I get it, but you're being operated by the technology. There's ways to do it differently maybe. So no longer judging the speaker's ideas crazy, hopefully, but I'm totally cool if you are. It's an unpleasant truth, a visceral truth of the current relationship with technology. Most of us, and if this is not you, awesome, please help out. If you're already not stressed by technology, help the rest of us, because most of us are. And I think the reason that's happening is because we're not understanding how to operate technology. So I'm going to model for you a way that we can all operate technology. We specifically do it with this channel, with YouTube, consciously you engaging every possible way that you can. And as we do that, there's going to be more coordination, more communication. We will figure out what the next steps are. I don't know what the next steps are. I have no grand plan. I'm not trying to lead anyone. I am just putting this thing out there and saying, let's coordinate, because that's how it's supposed to be. And we can all network. They feel the speaker's passion is not a grand vision, but a shared personal frustration, which it is. I am personally very frustrated by what I've done myself in technology, and I see it everywhere. So it does help me, of course. And there is a grand vision. You don't have to see that. That's okay. Then there's the insight. Speaker continues, outline the functional difference between the creators and the operators. They create the technology. They cannot see outside their own creations. We can. We are the operators. We can look at the technology and go, oh, you know what you really built? It's this. You know what YouTube really is? It's an amazing community hub. Has videos, very easy to organize, very easy to search. It's got massive amounts of whatever you need. It's an incredible knowledge resource. It's got entertainment. It has everything you need. If you want distraction, it's got distraction. There's all sorts of levels of usefulness for whatever you want. And it mostly is, we're sort of being operated by it in how we've been using it, because I don't know that we're conscious. I know I haven't. So this is why I'm not judging you if you're not. Maybe you're not. Maybe this is new. Maybe this is new to me, and I'm the only one that's finally waking up to this whole thing. But I've never clicked on a subscribe because I wanted more people like me to be in that channel. I clicked on subscribe because I wanted more information from that channel. And that sounds like the right answer. Like, of course you want information from the channel. Subscribe. That's what the instructions say. But if I actually subscribed only to the channels where I wanted people like me in those communities, and I only did that, and I liked those videos, and I left comments on those videos, then the algorithm would put more people like me in front of those videos, which would probably get more people like me in that community, in that channel, which makes that channel more useful for me, because the creator behind that channel will obviously start creating content that's useful for people like me, maybe people like you. This is what I'm trying to do with This Is Your Mind on AI. Early days, I get, but this is the idea. So that's kind of how to look at it. And if we could do that, and we have a place to coordinate, YouTube, I think, is a very easy platform to be able to do this with. And you can share this wherever you want. You can share. You don't have to share on YouTube. If you have a Reddit group, post it there. Post this wherever. If this video is being translated for you in some way, post it wherever. Share it wherever. It's kind of the reason, because you're consciously doing it to get more people like you into this channel, to build the community, to help the message. More people who are ready to be on this other side of things. And that's kind of what it feels like. It's like another side where you're like, all right, I'm not stressed anymore. I just know how I stressed myself out. And because I know all of that, I operate technology differently. And technology is a lot more useful. It's incredibly useful. And I really want to prove that by having all of you experience how useful it can be, specifically through this channel. All right, so creators limited by their attention to sell ads and make money. I believe that is true. If that's all they want to do. If that's all I want to do is create content, I would also do my best to ping the algorithm over and over and over again to get your attention and distraction and everything else. But I'm purposely doing something very different here, because I think that's how an operator does things. And this is the difference. Operators limited by imagination. I'm trying something different to get YouTube as a platform to do something different, because you did something different, because we connected, because there was a message that was heard and an experience that occurred, and we connected in some way, not emotionally, not spiritually, not like that, just something where you're like, oh, I get it. This made sense. That was a video worth watching, worth sharing, worth telling my friends about, worth talking about the cooler, worth bringing up on the news, with I don't care what. The point is, it's worth it. It's useful. It feels useful. So you do it because you're like, I get it. Let's move on. Right? The algorithm isn't a jail. And I think a lot of people do see it like that. It's a nervous system, which is exactly how I see it. And this was so useful for me to hear it in this way, because I never thought about it like that, but it's exactly what it is. We are literally aware that it's a nervous system, so we are very careful now about how we use it. And we're aware and consciously aware about growing the channels that we want to grow, growing the content that we want to grow, because the more that we are interacting consciously with certain things will change those channels. It will change YouTube. And again, specifically this channel is what I wanted to show first and make it so overwhelmingly obvious. And then we go, now that everybody can see what's going on, we show everybody that the emperor has no clothes. That big tech is not controlling us. It never was. There was just a people that got together that realized what was happening. They all united on this specific channel. This is Your Mind on AI. And they came together and we popped it up because it was useful. And that's my job. I have to make it useful to do that. I know you can't do that now, but I'm going to create a bunch of these different experiences. This is the one that connected with you, but I also want to make one about people that want to do pretzels and make soft pretzels. We're going to do all sorts of stuff. And the idea is every time we sort of have this little message of helping them understand, hey, don't like and subscribe unless you like people that want to use AI for pretzels or whatever. And then we just get so many people that just want to talk about AI in this channel, but from a perspective then of learning how to operate AI. And eventually, because AI is a technology, what we're really doing is learning how to operate technology. And we start with YouTube because that's where it was born. And we say, let's do it with YouTube. Let's make sure this channel gets higher. This was the idea. The reactionary instructions are the default settings of this algorithm, right? Doesn't care what moves, it only cares that it moves. That's what the algorithm cares about. Consciously, mindfully moving the machine, right? The like, the share, the comment, the non-reactionary purpose of it. So the purpose is to attract another like-minded operator and not to feed the ad system. Will you feed the ad system? Yes. But that's not why you're doing it. That's a byproduct of that. And that's okay because Google's got to make money. I've got to make money. Let's just call it what it is. If that's not happening for me, I can't produce the content. This is why it all goes around. But I'm also making useful content, so the value is happening, and that's the beauty of this. Everybody can experience the value and the abundance of this. Now, they aren't fighting the machine, they're reprogramming it, and that is what it feels like to me right now. Very much feels like that. It's just because we're operating it differently, we're literally changing the algorithm, and as much as they want to change it on their end, they totally can. It won't matter because we're literally the feedback loop. So we can just operate it differently. Anything that changes will be operated. And honestly, I don't think they want to change it all the time. I think that's probably a pain for them to have to do all that. I think if we started feeding it better, you would see social media also change. And all of a sudden we wouldn't be reacting and, fear-based and everything else that's going on. Anyway, the creators believe we built world-spanning infrastructure to achieve a collective goal the creators never intended, which is true. The crazy idea is now the most pragmatic, useful, and subversive strategy possible. It's a feeling of powerlessness replaced by immediate sense of leverage. I hope that is your experience in some way, shape, or form. And I know I'm talking a lot, but I hope it's been useful. That's all I'm trying to do here is get my way through this, and I'll wrap this up. Okay, so with that. This is the momentum. So surge of energy is not based on anger or fleeting motivation, but on a grounded, useful recognition. If that is you right now, this is the time because we're going to wrap this up. You've got a task, a role, and a clear method. This channel's not about listening. It is about doing. Do not just watch this channel. Do not just consume the content. That is not what it is for. It is for you to experience what is going on and to play with us. This is the point. This is a game. This whole thing has been a game, and we're just awakened again to the fact that it is a fun little game, a fun little experiment. Let's play around with this stuff. Let's do something cool. So grab your phone, navigate to the YouTube channel page. This is Your Mind on AI, and then subscribe. When you do that, you're not using it. You're electing the position as an operator of this community, right? Join the community. That's your intentional network. Your ideas belong in there, not just in your head. And you have to subscribe on YouTube. Then you have access to the community. And you put whatever you want in there. And if you have post ideas, content ideas, gems you want to see, solve problems you're trying to solve with AI, all of them, they can go there. Then the comments, right? It's not a reaction. It's a deliberate intention to put feedback into the machine to let YouTube know, yeah, people like me like this because they leave comments. People like me like this because they leave likes. People like me like this because or subscribe to this because they want more people like them. And that's what YouTube will do. It'll go find more people like you, more people like us. We all get together. We start meeting each other. We can do amazing things. We're just not connected yet. And this is a way to connect us. So hopefully this does feel like a very different way of engaging with social media. It's an act of utility and conscious co-creation, not a moment of consumption. And hopefully for you, the moment has begun. They created the technology we cannot see, and they can't see out of their own creations, right? We can. We're the operators. We can look at the technology and we can say, oh, you know what this is? It's this. That's the idea. And at this point, fingers crossed, we hope that works. You made it through it. I appreciate you so much for doing that. And I look forward at this point just to see what happens. And then if nothing happens, we go to plan B, because I happen to know how to operate technology. And there's always a plan B. All right. With that, thank you so much. Appreciate everything. One final little thing I will bring up here is for those that want the gem, I promised you I would show you where that is. This is yourmindonai.com. When you go in there, you will see the leap right in there. Just click on leap. It'll take you in there. So that's it. And then you can start leaping, and there's the conversation that I did originally for leaping, and then we had the other one where I just prompted it with a new conversation. So that's how it works. Hopefully it was an, if nothing else, uniquely interesting experience. And I look forward to, seeing the community as we go through. So again, this is the part where I'm supposed to say as YouTube creator, please like, subscribe, share, whatever, smash the like button, all the other stuff you're supposed to say. Just pretend I said all that. Just don't do it because I said to do it. Do it because you're consciously aware that as you are doing it in all of those ways, which are necessary because we have to overpower the algorithm. You can't just like, you can't just share, you can't just comment, you can't just join the community. You got to do it because you're an operator now. We have to do all of that in order to get people like us in there, because that's going to signal the algorithm. That overwhelming amount of signal will essentially kind of program the algorithm to bring people like us in. And the right people at the right time are going to see the message, because that's how technology works. We're just not operating it yet to do that. That's why you have to share it, subscribe, like, comment. I know it's going to feel like effort and work. This is the participation part. This is the part of the experience where now you have to do it. Because if you just watch this, you've missed out. You're not operating. Just are listening to some guy randomly on YouTube. And you've gotten a lot of information, which is awesome. You've been exposed to some ideas, which is great. But until you start actually doing something, this doesn't change at all. I'm trying to demonstrate how to do something. I could not like, subscribe, share, and comment on my own stuff in order to make this happen. My function here is to create the stuff and put it out there so that you can. That's my side of it. Your side is to do that, but do it in that way consciously, so you know only the others that are highly likely to be ready for this at this exact stage, or in this channel at this exact stage, because we need them to assemble so we can start building other things. When you can operate technology, you will see other opportunities. And some of you that are in the crypto space know this. Some of you in the Web 3.0 days know this. Some of you that are in the old days of MS-DOS know this. And the DARPANET days know this. There's a lot that can happen. There's a lot that can be different. There are a lot of very easy solutions that are sitting in front of us if we're willing to operate the technology. But the first step is we've got to get those of us who are ready to do it in one place. Personally, I want it to be this place because we're pretty good about doing the AI stuff here, and I think that's going to be a necessary tool, and I want to get everybody assembled. So again, if that is you, participate. If that is not, thanks anyway. I appreciate you being here, truly. It's useful to have you here, and if you're not ready to participate, thank you for being here and getting hopefully some sort of usefulness from it. Maybe later it is worth it. Maybe later you come back and watch this video, or you see another message, or maybe it's just one of the other videos that we do that gets you to participate. And at that time, it makes sense, because if this doesn't feel useful to participate right now, don't do it. I mean that desperately. Don't do it, because you're not the right person yet. It doesn't mean that you're supposed to be. Don't try to be the hero. I'm not trying to do that. Ooh, this is the tough part where I'm trying to convince you to not do something again, and everybody wants to do it for that reason. But that's not what I'm saying. If it doesn't make sense to do, don't do it. If it does, do it. Take the action. And that's the only way you know how, is if it was useful, it's because you actually did it. And the more people that like, subscribe, share, comment, do whatever they can to get the message spread out, and they're helping other people like them, feeding the algorithm where it brings people like them, that's all you need to do. So be it. And if you know you can do other stuff, then do that as well. If you have the resources that I don't even know that you have that can help do this because you get the mission and the idea, then do it. I will be on whatever podcast, whatever channel, whatever collabs, whatever conversations you want to have. But it's got to be done through you doing this at least first step, getting in the community so we can have those conversations. So with that, I will end it here. Thank you again from the bottom of my heart, because this is one of the more difficult live streams I've ever had to do, because it was the first of many I think I'm going to be doing like this, though a lot of them I know will be much, much shorter than this one. This one is for a very specific group of people that I expect that you are in some way, shape, or form. So with that, thank you again. I look forward to seeing you in the community and to another video hopefully soon on This Is Your Mind on AI. Take care.